Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. So I am literally outside sunbathing, and then I was like, oh shit, it's Sunday, so I need to record a Storytime Sunday video. Okay, I'm gonna film from this angle, so I hope it's not too like bothersome. I'm gonna try to keep the camera as steady as possible. Okay, so I want to tell the story about my rebellious teenage years. And people might, whenever I say I was a rebellious teen, people are always like shocked. They're just like, no, you were a rebellious teen? Yeah, I was. But I had good reason for being the way I was. And I guess I can tell you the story and how I changed and grew out of it, I guess, or what I learned from it. And also, if there's any teenagers watching this who are going through a rebellious stage, maybe you'll be able to relate and maybe seek some type of advice or comfort in this video. Okay, so I think my rebellious years started when I was 13 years old. You know that movie 13? That's one of my favorite movies. And I definitely went through something like that when I turned 13. First of all, I want to say that I didn't really go wild when I turned 13. Like, I didn't necessarily change who I was. It's just that I started to have certain needs that I wanted fulfilled from boys at that time. So that's why it appeared that I was going wild. Like I said in another video, I do suffer from codependency. So that stems from not getting enough love or affection as a child. And basically, when you're codependent, you grow up to seek love and approval from other people outside of yourself. And it's almost like your life depends on whether or not that person that you're interested in likes you back. Like, your whole worth is wrapped around that person. So when I discovered at a young age that I could get that love and fulfillment from boys, I pretty much became boy obsessed, because all I wanted was to be like loved and cared for and seen. And you know, around that age, 12, 13, that's when I started to notice, well, that's when boys started to notice me, and I started to notice boys, and they gave me this feeling of love that I just was not getting at home. So I became a rebellious teenager, quote unquote, but it wasn't really me being rebellious. It was just me like not getting what I needed at home and feeling like I had to go out and get it elsewhere. And I was willing to go through great lengths to get those needs met. Okay, so now you have the backstory. Yeah, when I turned 13, I met this boy that I was like in love with, or I thought that I was in love with, and he he was very much emotionally unavailable. And even at such a young age, I was already attracting men who were emotionally unavailable, because when you're codependent, you tend to attract people who are emotionally unavailable, because then it gives you something to work towards. Like, if you can get them to change their mind about you and see you and love you, it almost feels like this great accomplishment, and it sort of feels like it's balancing out the fact that when you were younger, you weren't seen or loved, if that makes any type of sense. I have a codependency video coming, so you'll be able to, I'm sure you'll understand once I drop that video. But yeah, so this boy was pretty much very emotionally unavailable, and he was like very popular in our neighborhood. He was like in and out of jail already. We were only 13, and a lot of older women, like 16, 17, 18-year-olds, like were like hanging around him. And I was like in love with him and obsessed with him. And he started to show interest in me as well, and it just felt so good to me, because I felt like I was finally being seen. And it's like we went on this roller coaster ride of like, when it was good, it was really good. When it was bad, it was really bad. But most of the time, he was pretty disrespectful to me. But that just made me cling on to him more. And you know, from the outside looking in, my family thought, oh my God, like Shanique was losing her mind, because I was once like the very, very goody two-shoes in school with the glasses and so smart, and Nick was going to be like, you know, the first female president, like that type of thing that my family thought about me. So when I fell in love with this boy, and I was willing to like sneak out the house, I was willing to sneak him into my house, like I was willing to do whatever to be with him. That's when my family started to label me like out of control. She's fast, she's wild, yada yada yada. Which is, it's just fun. It's comical to me almost, because I wouldn't have felt the need to do any of that if I had gotten the love and affection I was supposed to get when I was a kid. So I think it's funny, it's not funny, but it's crazy to me how they'll label little girls, specifically little black girls a lot of the time, fast, like those fast ass girls. And they'll label little girls fast, and people don't stop and think the root cause of why these girls are being fast, quote unquote. So yeah, me and him, he ended up getting locked up, and I was like holding him down for like a year and a half. I know, 13 years old. It's a fucking mess. But yeah, when he got out, he ended up like leaving me for some other girl anyway. But while he was locked up, I was pretty much just like lost in the toss. Like I was just I missed him so bad. It hurt so bad. And things started getting even worse at home. I guess because of my attitude or because of the way it was coming off. But yeah, things started getting much worse at home. And it just got to a point where I was just like, fuck this, I'm running away. So when I was 13 years old, I ran away from home, like dead ass. And me and my best friend, we ran away. We went to like the whole other side of town, and we were like, had this elaborate scheme to like dye our hair so that the cops wouldn't see us, which couldn't find us, which is ridiculous, because we were like wanted in the city. So we like dyed our hair in the McDonald's bathroom. We bought like box dye and dyed our hair, and we went to the train station, and we were going to catch a train to Philly, and we were going to try to see if we could find some place to stay in Philly. And it turns out that we were too young to catch a train, so we didn't even get to go to Philly. Like they wouldn't let us buy a train ticket. So we were just kind of just out and about for like 2 days. We had money, and we were just out and about. And finally, we ended up getting caught. Like these boys like snitched on us, turned us in. Like my mom and her dad or her stepdad paid like these boys to like tell us to come over, and then we came over. They were like waiting right there for us. It was so fucking annoying. And yeah, when I got caught, I didn't even get like a talking to, like what happened, what's your problem, what's wrong with you. I just got like a beating and then like sent to bed. It was so fucking ridiculous now that I think about it. And yeah, and I just didn't care, honestly. I was ready to run away again. Like the next day I was like, I'll get the fuck out of here again. Like I don't care. Like at that point I really felt like, okay, if I don't have my boyfriend here because he was away, and my mother don't give, and my mom clearly doesn't give two shits about me because she didn't even stop to wonder or ask me why I ran away from home, then I'm really gonna do whatever the fuck I want to do, because nobody cares anyway, and I don't have nobody anyway, so I'm really gonna do whatever the fuck I want to do. So that's when I started really like wilding out, and all my family members were like talking about me. Like they would be like, I can hear them on the phone just talking, like my mom just talking shit to like to my family members, and I really did not care. It's like the more they talked about me, the more Sissy! I'm recording.
I didn't want to interrupt you. It was good.
Hey sister, I love you. I missed you, Sissy.
I know. I missed you too.
Let me finish recording. Get out
fine.
here. go for a walk.
I'll sit over here.
Okay, I'll be done in like 10 minutes. Okay, so my sister just came. This is like my first time seeing my sister home from college. That's why everything, yeah, we had to wild out for a second. But yeah, what was I saying? Oh yeah, so the more they talked about me and the more they were just like, oh yeah, Shanique was this, Shanique was that, the more I was just like, fuck it, I'm just gonna go even wilder. Then I'm just gonna be whoever the fuck I want to be. Like if y'all already looking down on me and nobody's trying to help me, nobody sat down and tried to figure out what was going on with me. Everybody just was like judging me and my family. So I was just like, you know what, fuck that. Then I'm gonna do whatever I want. You know? So as the years went on, my brother and my cousin who was living with me, my brother's 1 year younger than me and my cousin's 1 year older than me, and we just started getting really fucking reckless, like together. I had like a posse now. At first it was just me, the problem child, but then they decided to join in, and I was like, oh yeah, it's lit. Like it's not just me now. So we will be like at every party hopping, 15, 16 years old, like party hopping, this party, that party, all night long, traveling all up and down the city, like just going to parties, just fun. We had so much fun, just fun as shit. Like I know my mother was stressed out for all those years, but I genuinely would not take those years back, because I had the most fun I've ever had in my life in those years, and that's because I was away from home and I was doing whatever the fuck I wanted to do and I didn't care. And that's the most fun and excitement I ever had. So yeah, but it's funny because even during those years, comment down below if you agree with this, kids these days seem like they're a bit wilder than we were back then. Like I'm 25, so this happened like 10 years ago, and we would skip school every single day, but nobody was smoking, nobody was drinking, and nobody was having sex. And it was like a house full of teenagers, because one of my friends, his mom actually got up and left and moved out of the city and left him the apartment to himself. Like she was paying his rent, but it was his apartment, and he was only like 16, so it was like 20, 30 people in his apartment at a time, like every single day, and none of us were doing anything. Like I think a couple guys were smoking, but besides that, no. It was just like we literally were just in there playing the PlayStation. So it's like like, my mom was pissed and she was stressed, but literally we weren't doing anything. We should have been in school, granted, but we weren't. So yeah, party hopping, skipping school, just like reckless, just wilding out. And of course, I had a new man. I always had a boyfriend. I don't know if there ever was a time where I did not have a boyfriend when I was a teenager, because I just needed that love and affection. I could not be without that, because that's the only place I was getting it from was my man. So I needed a man, or a boy, quote unquote. But every boy I attracted, they were always really like emotionally unavailable assholes, and they always end up treating me badly, and then or either that or I'll end up getting bored with them and then leaving. I always had a boyfriend, and of course my family has something to say about that. And he was always with the new boy, she's so fast, and I did not give a fuck, honestly. There was one point in time where, oh my god, me and my brother and my cousin skipped school for 30 days straight. 30 days of school straight, and we ended up getting a fine. We ended up getting fined for skipping that many days of school. It was nuts. But yeah, man, that was the most fun I ever had in my life. But at home, it was so bad because my mom was so pissed at the way we were acting, and she just could not handle it. And she just became more and more and more emotionally abusive, which is what was driving me out of the house anyway. I can't speak for my brother or my cousin why they were doing what they were doing, but for me, that emotional abuse, I'm a very sensitive person, very sensitive. So I basically was trying to get away from that situation, but the more I pulled away from it, the more abusive she became. So it was like, it was a nightmare at home, honestly. But when I was outside and I was away with my friends and with my man, I didn't care. So that's where I stayed, outside and away from my friends with my man. There was one point where I had like a breaking point, where I was told that, you know, I'm just a slut and a bitch, and I'm not going to ever be nothing in life except a prostitute. And I think it might have been because I got caught skipping school again, or I don't know. But yeah, when I got home, you know, I got really like cursed out, verbally assaulted, was just like, you're going to die from AIDS, and you're not going to be anything but a prostitute. You're not going to be anything good for anything except laying on your back, which is funny because I'm laying on my because I'm laying on my back right now, recording a video. But anyway, so yeah, that was said to me, and I, you know, that day definitely was one of my breaking points. I think I was like 16 when that happened. And I was like, fuck this, I'm not staying here anymore. So I remember I took all my school books and I threw them all in the trash. And then I went to school so I could just have my last day of school and like hang out with my friends and stuff, because I planned on running away. And this time I was gonna go somewhere far where nobody could find me. So, you know, I ended up throwing all my school books away. And when I got to school, I was just really, really quiet. And I think my best friend Cynthia, hi Cynthia if you're watching, I think she recognized that something was off. And I remember that day she handed me a letter in the hallway, and the letter said something like, I love you, I'm always here for you. Like, it was just this really, really nice letter. And I don't want to cry, so I'm going to get off of that. But that letter made me reconsider whether or not I wanted to drop out and run away. And then my theater teacher, she ended up coming to me and was just like, Shaniqua, I noticed you don't have any of your books today. And I was just like, yeah, I just like lied. And I told her that I left them on the bus. I was like, I left them on the bus by mistake. And she was like, okay. And then like by the end of the day, she had called me into her room, and she had emailed all the teachers, and they all like got together and like got me like all new textbooks, and like she gave them to me, and it was just like, you know, I hope that whatever's going on, I hope that you get through it. And then like she one of my teachers ended up emailing all the other teachers like, Shanique was going through something right now, try to be a little bit easy on her, don't ask her too many questions, but just try to go a little bit easy on her, which I am forever grateful for, because those teachers, I don't think they understand that they might have actually saved my life, because I had every intention of running away and living on the streets and doing God knows what to survive. So I feel very blessed that I had those people around me, and I really feel like those people are like angels, because I didn't even have to tell them what was going on. In that day, like, all this love just was flowing to me from these people at my school. So I did not end up running away. I actually ended up just sticking it out and staying in school. And shortly after that, one of my teachers put me into his office, and he was just like, so, how does it feel? And I was just like, how does what feel? And he was just like, how does it feel to be the first Martin to get an international baccalaureate degree, an IB diploma, I mean. if you don't know what the IB program is, it's just like this program is kind of like advanced placement in high school, except it's different. It's a whole different curriculum, and they only offer it at certain schools. And you take all these like series of tests, and if you score 22 points or 24, I think, yeah, 24, then you get your an IB along with your high school diploma. And so when he asked me how does it feel to be the first one, I was just like, I'm not gonna be the first one. What are you talking about? Like, I'm not taking the IB test. Absolutely not. Like, I was just like not focused on school, and I damn sure wasn't trying to get into no damn advanced placement IB, whatever he was talking about. And he was just like, Shaniqua, I think this really, really benefits you. And I was just like, I guess. He kind of forced me into it, which, again, I'm very grateful for, because when I got into the IB program, that's when I started really, I had something to focus on to escape from what was going on at home, but it wasn't anything destructive. Which, me hanging out with boys and stuff like that, like I said, no one was doing anything too wild, but I definitely could have gotten pregnant, so that could have happened. And I could have been, you know, caught up. All my boyfriends, they all ended up in jail or whatever else. You know, God forbid I would have been with them one night when they were doing something they had no business and ended up locked up with them. So, yeah, I was doing destructive things when I was a teenager or out and about. I wasn't smoking or drinking, but I was doing everything else. So, yeah, when I got involved in the IB program, that's when I was just like, okay, so now I have something to focus on that is not negative. Like, you know, like I have something positive to focus on. And that's pretty much, like, that's how my life pretty much changed. So it went from, like, me being rebellious as teenagers, like sneaking out, jumping out of windows to get out, like coming in at 3, 4, 5 in the morning when I was like 14, just wilding, like me having the time of our lives, but just wilding, like just, it was just nuts. I wish I could go into more details about these stories, but I don't want to make this video too long. But yeah, it was pretty crazy. Like, and in terms of my boyfriends and stuff like that, after when I joined the IB program, I literally like cut my one boyfriend off. He was locked up at the time, and I wrote him. It was just like, I can't be with you no more. Like, I'm focused on, you know, other things. And he was pissed. But hey, I had to do what I had to do. And I didn't have a boyfriend for that whole year, and I was focused on something positive, you know. So yeah, it's just weird to think about, like, where my life could have been had it not been for my teachers and my best friend Cynthia. I don't know where I would have been. Like, honestly, I don't. So I'm very extremely, like, eternally grateful for those people. And so after, I didn't end up getting the IB diploma because I missed it by like 2 points. I was so pissed, but I didn't care because I got so much more out of it. I ended up graduating on time with my friends. I ended up getting into college and going away to college. And my wild teenage years just kind of fizzled out. Which is just like, it's nuts to me. It's nuts, because people are just like, I can't believe you were that way. Oh yeah, oh yes, I was extremely wild. Yeah, oh, I missed the part of the story where I almost got sent to live with my aunt once, and then she ended up like not being able to take me in, and then I got sent to live with my grandmother, and then she ended up not being able to take me in. Something happened with my school, my transfers, so I had to keep on going back. I know my mom was so pissed. She tried to send me away twice, and it just was not happening. So yeah, I definitely feel like everything happens for a reason. I feel like it was exactly where I needed to be, and I am eternally grateful for that experience, because first of all, it taught me about unconditional love, because by contrast, because I wasn't getting it. So now I know the importance of it because I didn't get it. Because when I was wilding out, nobody in my family had any love for me. Their love was very conditional, because these are the family members that when I graduated college, they were all claps. They were posting on Facebook, oh my God, look, Niqua graduated, I love you, I'm so proud of you. But it's like, I don't need to be congratulated when I'm doing well. I need your support when I'm not doing well. So it would have helped me a lot more if when I was rebellious, y'all were posting on Facebook. If they even had a Facebook, they had MySpace. It would have helped me much more if when I was rebellious, they were, you know, telling me how proud they are of me, of how smart I was. It would have helped me more during that time. But people's love is very conditional. And that's what I learned during that time period, is to really embrace myself and unconditionally love myself, because people showed me that they only love me when I'm accomplishing positive things, but they don't want to support me when I'm down, or when I'm down and out. But like I said, I'm grateful for that whole experience. I would not change a thing. Even though we were doing bad shit, we had so much fun during that time period, man. Like, sometimes I wish I can go back there. Like, even the stuff that was going on at home, I feel like it was worth it, because me and my brother and my cousin, our bond got tight. This is a time period where me and my sister got tight, and I'm grateful. I feel grateful and blessed that I went through that experience. So comment down below if you had a wild, rebellious teenage story, or if you had a rebellious teenage phase in life where you just didn't give a damn and you were just doing whatever you want to do, because I'd love to hear your stories. Okay guys, and that is it. I hope this video wasn't too shaky. I tried to hold the camera as still as possible. So be sure to subscribe down below if you have not already, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.